What's going on, Brad? How you doing today, man?
Hey man, I am doing good. Happy Monday. We're
Happy
back.
Monday. Happy belated Father's Day to you, sir.
Yep, you as well. All
Heck
the
yeah.
dads out there.
Yes, yes, yes. All the other fathers, happy belated Father's Day. It is a tough job, just as the moms have it. I think their job might be tougher, but but either way, it's a tough job for either of us. And so we just appreciate all the dads out there raising these awesome little human beings, and whoever's got the older ones, the older human beings, just keep them on that awesome path. So,
Yep,
do you have a good weekend, Brad?
I did. We hung out, had a pretty chill actual Father's Day.
Mm.
Day before, we went out on a boat, went down to this little island out here, and with one of the neighbors, absolutely amazing time. Hung out all day, and just great. So
Heck yeah.
really really fun weekend, and so yeah, had a good time. And
Good deal.
except for when I looked at my phone to see what the quiz was.
I told you to quit looking at it, honestly. We're just at that point where it's like, just let it do its thing, you know? Because it's a little wild right now. It's so up and down. And you and I were talking about this before we jumped on to record, but it's reminding us how really early we are. After the run in 2021 and just seeing those new all-time highs and seeing where it was, everybody was like, all right, it's here, you know what I mean? And seeing all the huge marketing pushes and then the Super Bowl and all this stuff. And, for me, it just kind of made me realize, that wasn't so much like big adoption as awareness,
Yeah.
of more and more people talking about it and knowing what crypto stands for the most part, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
I mean, obviously there's massive adoption in the space, but you got to remember, and I think this is where I get ahead of myself sometimes, but you got to remember that crypto is still the riskiest asset class out there.
hmm
And
hmm
and we talked about this briefly, but it Bitcoin came out in 2008. So original cryptocurrency, Bitcoin 2008. Well, that was following 2007 market crashes. So 2007, 2008, we were basically in economic recession.
hmm
And and so Bitcoin was a response to that. It had been something that had been worked on for years. I mean, people have been working on trying to create a digital currency for years. But Bitcoin releases in 2008. And you think about that, we've been in nothing but economic growth since then.
mm,
So this is Bitcoin's first time, and so Bitcoin, and then the entire crypto space, because a lot of people use Bitcoin and crypto interchangeably. It's two totally different things. It's not
right,
a thing. It's not like one word encompasses everything.
right.
Cryptocurrency, yes. Bitcoin is not the whole market. Bitcoin is,
hmm
and so, but this is the first time in the history that now we're in economic recession time again. And so, what is the first thing that really is going to hit hard? The riskier asset classes,
Of course.
whether or not it's being highly adopted or not.
Right.
Tech sector always gets hammered harder
hmm
than like
hmm
Walmart stock,
Right.
and so it's understanding where we're at as a global economy, where we're at as a US economy for those of us that are in the US,
hmm
and where that leaves cryptocurrency right now. So it's like, I told you, offline, but it really is making me focus in on how early on we are, which is
Right.
great. And
Right.
and I think it's amazing, and I know that we're gonna surpass those all-time highs again in I'm not gonna say the near future, but in the next bull market cycle,
hmm
2024, 2025, somewhere in those years, we're gonna see all-time highs again.
Yeah.
And so those people that made investments maybe at the highs, hang in there, and you don't give away your crypto, and just hang in there. Treat it as it's a long-term investment, like you bought a house or something like that you're
Right.
not going to sell for 5-10 years. And then, a few years from now, you'll be happy with your growth. Now, will you have as much growth as if you were to go in and buy it right now, or maybe 6 months from now, depending on where we're at in the late fall? Who knows?
Right.
But,
Right.
obviously, if you've got money to invest now and you never got in before, you are in the same spot. You're going to be able to invest a lot of things in the same places that people were investing in 2020.
Sure.
And so, I mean, it's a great way to get back into the market, and it's a great way to get introduced to the market right now. And so there's a lot of things that people can learn, and it kind of puts everybody back on a same playing field again.
Sure. Yeah. 100%. I think crypto is easy to pick on, because, like we've talked about in previous episodes, it's an asset class that you can invest in, that's large enough that it puts it on a global scale, both because of the technology and because you can invest in it from anywhere. It has no borders. And so it's very easy to talk about and single out, in terms of this, like, what the heck what are you doing with your money? You're pissing it away, but there's been other things in time that people have invested in that may not have taken the limelight because it didn't act like this. It didn't have a technology behind it like this that you could actually invest into at this early of a stage.
Yeah.
And so it puts it in a whole different category, on its own. We've never had opportunity like this before. And so it's those that aren't believers in it, that think it produced nothing, that have made their money in other sectors and aren't going to buy into this, can very easily talk down about it, and that news span borders really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So nothing that everything that crypto stands for, everything that it was built on is still here. Just like you said, it's getting hit. One market goes like this, down a little bit. Crypto's going to get hit further.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
It's just how it goes with these
Sure.
types. Right.
Yeah, I mean, if we look right now, I was having a conversation with my father, obviously this weekend on Father's Day, and we were talking about just, he was asking me about how the markets were reacting, and we talked about it, and we are talking about, okay, I mean, how is, my dad's older, but it's like, what does your 401k performance look like right now? Most people are getting hit hard, and we can take a look at the chart, and we can compare, the S&P to the total crypto market cap, and we can take a look here in a minute and show, but they're like, the markets are getting hit everywhere. Yeah. And so it's like,
100%.
You got a 20% drop in the stock market, you got a 70% drop in the crypto markets. That's to be expected. It's like, tech sector is going to get hit harder than the pharmaceutical sector, or, consumer goods, or whatever it may be. Right.
Right.
Understanding all that.
Yeah.
Putting the pieces together. And so that's why, for me, I'm like, okay, the markets are doing what they're going to do, and let's put a strategy to win in it, And so, we had this past weekend, we did, I think it was maybe on Friday, I did a call with a couple of people in our private group, and we talked about how to win shorting the market and using leverage, trading accounts and things like that, or non-leverage, but just like using a trading account where you can short the market.
Right.
And so we talked about, you can make money when the markets go down. And so there's ways that you can position yourself to win right now. And I mean, when these markets are down, boom, so much opportunity. Just got to be open to it and aware to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
So let's jump into some stuff because obviously we got some market stuff to talk about today. We've got some news headlines to talk about today,
Yep.
and we'll just jump into it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, I was talking while you were pulling that up. I was gonna say, I mean, so I'm in Dallas, right? And I was talking to another one of our investor friends that's looking to buy a property from us, and he buys 2 to 4 a month. And here in Dallas, we've been kind of insulated. And I made that comment to him. And he was like, "Well, I've got multiple properties here and here and here on the market, and they're sitting."
Mm-hmm.
That's in Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas was the first to bounce back from '08 and the first to put cranes back in the air, and start building up. And we were somewhat insulated from COVID. We had some restrictions and whatnot, but we also very quickly got back on our feet. And so to talk about that now, the real estate market as a whole is taking, a big turn, as well. And even places like Dallas that we are somewhat insulated because we have such a big influx of people coming to, even here we're seeing it start to really turn. Right.
Yeah.
And so let's dive into those charts and see what we think, might come of this.
Yeah, for sure. So let me go ahead and I'll bring up some charts. And you know what? I'm going to start off with just CoinGecko, and we'll see where the markets are currently sitting everywhere.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. So here we go. And I believe you can see my screen.
Yep.
Is it up there?
You're good.
Okay, so we can take a look right now on CoinGecko. Again, this is a site we use all the time. Remember, guys, everything we talk about here is for just informational, educational purposes and not financial advice. CoinGecko, website I like, not affiliated with, but you can see right now the market cap is sitting at $931 billion. Really would love to see that get back over $1 trillion. But if we're going to hit these lows and create some real opportunity for some people to win, we're probably going to see this get cut in half again. And so I can definitely see 450 billion market cap and sometime between now and November. But that's just my personal opinion. Bitcoin today, at the moment, it is 3:40 Central Time. It's sitting at 20,265. Ethereum is hovering 1111, basically 1115. And so right in that range, guys, it's been hovering there. And then you see the stable coins, exchange coin, networks.
Yeah.
So this is where we're at right now in the market. And so that's where we're sitting at the moment. Let's take a look at our top gainers. Okay, top gainers. Oh, synthetics. Synthetics back over $3, 53% in the last 24 hours. I don't know what happened there, but they must have had some good news. Celsius Network, look at that.
That's interesting.
A crazy week last week. They got crushed, and look, over the last 7 days, they're back up 141%. I mean, Celsius just got slammed with everything that we talked about last week on last week's episode.
Right.
Aave up 11%. Now you're seeing more modest gains, right? And so you got some other step in, interesting play to earn thing, or I guess move to earn, call it. And then you got the beautiful ape coin sitting here back over $4. So dang, Polygon at 40 cents. I mean, good Lord. Matic, what a good position right there. So you've got a lot of top coins starting to make moves again. And then we'll just take a look and see what our top losers have been. Okay, so you got Litecoin, Helium, Zcash, and the Doge. Doge had a little bit of a pump. I believe Elon said that he was going to stick around and still like Doge, and so of course the Doge community jumped back in there. You got, you got your whole farm here. You got all of your pets. You got Doge, you got Shiba. I bet there's another pet around here somewhere. You got a chili, so and some pancakes. So it's all the fun things, right? Pancake swap is actually a legitimate thing.
It is. It actually is not bad.
I just the crypto, man, you just never know what some of the names
Right.
are,
Right.
crypto market space. But so those are your winners and losers in the last 24 hours. And then if we just look at the 7 day, here's your top losers in the past 7 days. Obviously, Bitcoin was really hit hard last week and this past weekend.
Yep.
And your top movers, it's funny, Celsius up there. So there you go. There you have it. So Solana with a little bit of a comeback too.
Yeah.
They had a rough few weeks, and there's still weird Solana news in, and I'm actually going to talk about that here in a few minutes. But we'll dive into the charts. So I'll pull up my Bitcoin chart here. And you can see, I'll zoom this in, we've got the whole market cycle here from 2020 all the way up to our all-time highs in 2020 down to the 2021 lows, and then back now to where we're at right now. So this is a weekly chart. So each of these candlesticks represents 1 week's worth of time. And I'll bring this in to a daily, and we'll look at this a little bit closer. So here we go. So you can see we've had quite some moves the past few weeks, or really the past week was crazy. You see my last purchase on my chart was right there. And I can take that off. So we have a clean chart, but you can see, some different levels here. And on this daily chart, let's just even bring this in more. We had on the 13th, the massive drop off that was last week. That was a big move down that brought us down to 22. And you saw us kind of hover here, move down and up. And we kind of thought we were going to get stuck right here. Let's keep zooming it in a little bit more so you guys can see this really well. And so this is last week's price action. And so when we came down to 20 last week, that was looking like, oh, we're going to stabilize here. And then we got this nice little
Doji.
tiny doge, of a candle, which typically when you see something like that, you might start to see a reversal, pop out, signaling the signs of maybe we're done with this move downward. And then that was not the case. Saturday rolled around and we just tanked down all the way to 17 and a half before rebounding right back up over 20,000. So, and now we continue to sit there. So that's where we've been sitting for basically the last day and a half. And that is where we continue to be. If we look at ETH has a very similar structure. You see it happened here as well. ETH got below $900. It's funny to think like in a bull market, you're like, it's never going to go back below $1,400 again. And here we are looking at good buy opportunities that are going to be probably under 800 ETH, $800 for ETH. So, pretty wild, but we definitely can see some more fluctuation to the downside here. Definitely not putting that past these charts. So let's go back to the weekly on Bitcoin and just take a look at this on a more macro level. Guys, there is no, hey, where's the perfect bottom going to be? So don't try to time it. Nobody knows. What I can tell you is if you look to the left, and this is what I tend to do, is I look to the left and I see where there may be areas where price could stop. And, on this whole ride up, you only had 2 weekly candles right here and right here that slowed down at all for a second as like little stutter steps in the market right around what had been the previous all-time highs before, back in 2017, before it just exploded up at around Christmas time last year, or I'm said last year in 2020. It does not feel like it was that long ago to me already, but yeah, so it's already been, year and a half basically since this point in time. And so if you look, where did the market come right back to? It came back to that stutter step. The next place it goes, I mean, it can come down here, guys. I mean, just there's
12,000.
nothing stopping it support wise from coming to these levels. All right. So just so it can potentially continue to drop down into these levels as it continues to reach to find a support zone. Now, we've talked about this in the past. Bitcoin typically is going to drop about 80 to 85%, maybe 88% in a bear market. If it was to do that, there's your point. 88% would be at 10,000, 500-ish. So you could see a Bitcoin anywhere in this range, somewhere probably bottom out. You do have people that think it'll clear all of this and come down here into like the sevens, and even some people calling for $3,000 Bitcoin again. If we see a $3,000 Bitcoin again, I will go ham. Everything I own and buy. But
Can you imagine? Could you? Oh my God, that would just be wild. That would be absolutely wild. I mean, you will see, I will have multiples. There will be multiples, and I'll be doing everything I can to be ready for in a cast position to take advantage of that, because it's you have to you have to keep it in perspective. Like, yes, the price of this is all the way down here, but what is that really like? That is opportunity screaming at you.
Yeah.
In the face.
I will be eating nothing but rice and beans and buying if we see
oh my goodness,
sub $10,000 Bitcoin.
I just can't even imagine.
So yeah. But so that is a little, little TA, a little technical analysis for you for your Monday. And so that's where we're at. Now, I'm not even going to go into altcoins, because to me, no real point in going into anything besides Bitcoin and Ethereum right now, on the charts, that is. As far as price and different coins and things that are going on, obviously there's coins to be paying attention to. There's coins that are in the news, but that's stuff to pay attention to. So but when I'm doing my analysis right now, those are the things I'm concerned about. Where's Bitcoin? Where is Ethereum? Where are they going? And so that's the heart of what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even if, yes, it is. It's still, there's so much risk, at this point, being this early, right? But and so you have to look at that. Like, let's follow mom and dad, being Bitcoin and Ethereum, and let's look at those. And if you're gonna put any money into something of the alts or things like that, you just need to be really, really mindful of what you're doing. At that point, and it shouldn't, in my opinion, be of any grand scale. At this point, you're really going to see those top projects, those that come out of this, are really, those are the ones who most likely will be here another 3 to 5 years from now, for sure. The ones that come out of this winter. So
absolutely.
I mean, look at Looks Rare over there. I mean, shoot, wasn't it down at like 17 cents at one point, and now we're already back to 39 for it? Like, that's pretty awesome.
17 cents a week ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right now I've got the total crypto market cap on my screen. You can see at the all-time high from 2017, 2018, right there at the beginning of the year. We have not touched that yet.
Right.
As far as a total market cap. Now, Bitcoin and Ethereum have both gone under their all-time high from the previous cycle, but the total market cap has not. So again, that's why I believe we can still continue to drop further. This is also a theory that I kind of stumbled across, is why Bitcoin might not have gone as high as everyone anticipated, because we had so many more coins out there and tokens that were getting attention during the last bear cycle besides just Bitcoin, and Ethereum, that Bitcoin didn't pump as much, but there was still that much money getting pumped into the market. I mean, you think about how much money got pumped into Doge and Shiba, Solana, Polkadot, like all of these other coins, and even meme coins were having massive market caps. And if you would take that money and move it into what Bitcoin market cap was, you would have seen $120,000 Bitcoin.
Just take the money out of the Luna ecosystem and put it into Bitcoin, and where would that be right now?
100%. And so that's kind of a theory that I've stumbled across this past couple of weeks. I've been thinking about, and I believe it's very true. And so I think that we'll continue to see diminishing returns on Bitcoin as it continues to hit all-time highs. But I still think the market cap as a whole is going to still have those same exponential growths. So anyways, something to think about, but I can still see this coming down. That's why I mentioned that on CoinGecko earlier. Now, a couple of just articles to touch on that are in the news this week. We saw crypto whales moving nearly, how many zeros is that, Mike? That's a lot of zeros.
9 zeros, so $2 billion. $2
billion in Bitcoin. They moved as Bitcoin breaks the 20,000 level. So, this is on chain. What's going on here? There we go. Let's get rid of that. Some of the largest holders of Bitcoin in the world moved billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin in a flurry shortly before the flagship cryptocurrency broke below the $20,000 mark. And so you can track Bitcoin wallets. There's Whale Alert. There's a bunch of ways to track wallets, kind of know what's going on. But look at these amounts of Bitcoin.
Interesting.
Can you imagine having a wallet where you're moving 205 million Bitcoin?
Holy smokes. Goodness.
But look, I mean, these are transfers from Coinbase to unknown wallets. Okay. So these are
out of an exchange.
Yeah, moving them out of the exchanges. Interesting, right? And so here's some more. Now this one moved to a Gemini exchange. So you can see like some of these were going from unknowns to centralized exchanges. Some of them were going to private wallets. So very interesting to see this move around. A lot of people, I don't know about you, but when I make a wallet transfer, I'm really paying attention to it. A lot of people don't have a full Bitcoin. I mean, you got these people moving around basically 10,000 Bitcoin at a time. And I think, during this season, we're going to have more Bitcoin wallets starting to hit 1 full Bitcoin, and see a lot of people reaching for that over this next year. So if you don't have a whole Bitcoin yet, maybe that is something that you can make a personal goal, to get a full Bitcoin sometime during this bear market cycle.
Well, I know when you look at, numbers of wallets holding Bitcoin in general, that is still increasing, right? As even, so a lot of people are seeing this as opportunity, not as don't touch, and so people are still seeing the value of what this technology can do.
Yeah. So. Yes. I'm not going to go into Tron today or stable coins in general, but stable coins are still under attack. Tether's still being audited, I believe, in this week. And then you've got Tron's, being all up in the news as well. This one's interesting though. I saw this this morning. Thought this was an interesting read. Solana's lending overturns a vote to take over an at-risk whale wallet. Okay, so this basically a Solana lending platform. It's not Solana, but it's a lending platform called Solend. Was looking at making themselves have access to a whale wallet if the protocol was put at risk. Now, basically, what is that saying? That's saying that like if you had money on their exchange, that they could take your money if they needed to. So it's like that should have been a massive red flag for anybody that was using this lending platform. So I think DeFi still has a lot of room to grow, a lot of lessons to learn. And I think it's gonna be interesting to see how DeFi makes its way through the bear market cycle, because I think that, you know, obviously like with the whole Luna Anchor protocol thing, with being able to see these massive amounts of money and interest rates on top of staking rewards and things like that, it's not sustainable. And I think we're seeing that. And so, you know, you can see they initially passed this. Now they've taken it away because they were getting, you know, massive backlash.
Sure.
But, you know, of course they are. I mean, it's like, you know, they're like, oh, maybe we should ask our users to vote on a new protocol. So anyways, interesting story there. Mike, did you have any stories
that one is interesting in itself? I mean, so there was only 3,500 votes that voted against it, and then there was 1.5 million that voted for it. But basically, that vote to me is like, that goes against what DeFi is about. If a DAO, understand, you know, the rules of the DAO and the voting, and it's somewhat of a democracy, you know, in terms, but like at the same time, if the people can vote to take that wallet away from somebody just because it's gonna mess up the ecosystem, you know, that's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. It's not necessarily doing something illegal, but could it lead to something, you know, where it could totally throw off that whole platform? You know, the only thing I equate that to is,
well, I mean,
what happened with Luna.
Saying, hey, we're in trouble. We're going to take your money from you because you need it. Like, I mean, no, it doesn't work for me, you know? You know, I heard a quote from a trading mentor of mine this past week, and it has stuck with me so much. And he said that staking is the scam to keep you invested in trash coins.
Interesting.
And I took that to heart, you know, because I mean, obviously, if you want to stake a coin, I mean, I'm a believer in staking. I've staked multiple assets. I've done a lot of different things, but I find that statement so interesting, because how many coins, or like even Mike, you're involved in a lot of NFTs. How many NFTs are offering staking rewards?
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
What reward are you getting? You're getting a worthless reward for some NFT DAO that like has no value whatsoever. But convinced you that you're going to get this reward to keep on a hold of something instead of selling it and liquidating. Great point that he made. And so I definitely going to look at staking from a different perspective now. And, you know, I used to think, you know, if you were getting under like 80%, like it was a dumb stake. I mean, stakes that right, but it's like now I look at this and it's like completely unsustainable. You know, I got involved in a couple of projects last year. I'm not going to name them, but they're offering 100+%. they tanked. They went away basically. As
Mm-hmm.
some of them are still there, some of them aren't. And it was a risky play, but I put some in, and but it's like you got to be aware of your investments. You got to understand. I think if nothing else, the bear market makes you a smarter investor, and you can't just walk away. You have to learn lessons and keep moving forward. So yeah.
I have two thoughts on that. One is the staking that's coming out with Ethereum and Ethereum 2.0, and you've got to have 32 Ethereum to stake, I believe, in the new system. And so I start thinking about that comment against Ethereum, and I'm like,
Well, sure,
eh.
but it's going to be based on like the rates, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so if random meme coin says, "Hey, you can stake this and earn 3,000% interest,"
yes.
uh, it's garbage. You know, if Ethereum comes out and says, "Hey, by participating in staking, you're helping further our network because your staking is basically what's going to move the network, and we're
Mm-hmm.
going to give you, I don't know what they're going to pay out, but
Mm-hmm.
let's say it's 6%.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reasonable
Right,
amount of return for staking.
right.
Think when the U.S. government's like at all-time levels on interest rates, right? You can get a CD at the bank and get paid 8 to 10%.
Right.
Same kind of a thing, right? And so those are the kind of staking rewards that you want to be looking for.
Sure.
Solid projects, good, like reasonable returns.
Right. Yeah.
Ten
Exactly.
thousand
Well,
percent on go to the moon coin
right.
is not going to be a probably wise bet for you.
I think at the same time, you've got to look at like, okay, so that doesn't exist in the CDs anymore. It doesn't exist in a savings account anymore. So like that too with staking will
Not right
eventually
now.
not be sustainable, right?
No.
No longer can you go and put your money in a bank and let it sit and make money on it. It's just nothing is that easy, right? Nothing is that easy, and they convinced us to put the money in the bank and let it sit there and make a measly little bit where rather than like thinking outside the box and investing in companies or investing in real estate or starting a business or, XYZ, rather let's put it in the bank and sit on it and we'll make a little bit, over a very long period of time.
Well, if they keep rising interest rates at a point a month almost, then you may be able to get a nice return from the bank again soon.
Who knows? That will be their goal, but my money will not go there. You know what I mean? They're gonna try to dangle that carrot for people, and they're like, people, general public may see that and be like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I can go and take my 30K and put it here and make a little bit over time, and little Johnny will have 40K in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than going and putting that into, a down payment on a rental property,
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
and a company or starting a new business that they've been dreaming about, or
Yeah.
something along those lines. Like that's just where I see that money being much more useful. You
Oh
know?
yeah.
But yeah, man, good stuff. Good stuff. The markets are nuts right now. Nobody knows where it's going. We don't know where it's going. We're all kind of looking. I originally thought that we would, over this year, come down. We'd see a little relief rally and then go down to the 17, 18 mark. And then I didn't think it would stay down there too long. At this point, we were down there for less than a day, or maybe it was like a day and a half, and came back up. But it's just all signs from a global scale and a U.S. scale. It just looks like we're gonna see it go down more. It's just nobody knows when. Nobody knows when.
Yeah. I mean, you look at traditional cycle, roughly a 1 year time frame from the top of the market to the bottom of the market. That puts us somewhere around November,
Mhm.
if you go with that strategy. So I think somewhere between fall and first quarter of 23. That's kind of where we're going to be. And then I think it'll range and it'll slowly trickle up. And so I guess by saying that, what I'm telling everyone that's watching this stream is you have time. You have time. Work on your cash flow, work on developing as much money, set aside, whatever you can right now. If you want to get invested in crypto, so over the next 6 months to a year, you can start to stack some crypto at the lowest prices possible. And you don't have to worry when the market starts to pump about trying to buy it, when it hits like the higher levels. You're already so far in profits, you aren't caring about trying to stack extra positions once it goes back up to the all-time highs. When it gets back up to 68,000, I promise you, that's when the majority of the people are going to start paying attention to it again, and it's going to be too late already. So you want to get in early. And so being prepared and ready now, and over these next 6 months, 8 months to a year, something like that, is going to be the best time to be able to start stacking crypto.
For sure.
And the stock market. There you
go.
So, we don't really talk about that much here, but we're going to have opportunities in the stock market as well.
Yep, 100%. Lots of opportunity out there. Just keep moving forward. Don't give up, and we'll be here week after week.
Yep, that is absolutely right. Next week we get into some stuff. I actually would love to hear you share some stuff about NFTs next week. Do some of that, and we'll be back for some fun. So you guys have a awesome week. Get out there, do some homework, do some stuff. Reach out to us if you're interested in anything that we talked about today. In getting involved in understanding how to do like some of the trading stuff that I talked about earlier, reach out to us, join our Telegram. You can hit me up on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. Happy to share with you guys. So
we'll have the links to our Telegrams, links to our Telegram, links to our social medias, the Twitter and Instagram, all in the show notes. You guys, you got anything out of today, or you have someone who you think might get some value out of this, hit the like, subscribe so you don't miss a video, and share it with somebody else and spread the word. We appreciate you guys tuning in as always. We appreciate you. Everybody have a blessed and awesome week, and we'll catch you at the next one.
Make it a great day, guys. We'll see you next time.